I started this program at 308 pounds.
Go.
No HCG worked. It's worked for me in the past. I've done it probably for 10 plus years. I've been buying HCG off of Colin's website. And I would do that twice a year for just one round of it twice a year. And it was when I went on vacation. It was to help me be able to fit in a seatbelt. I knew that if I weighed more than 300 pounds, I was going to have to ask the attendant. Actually, my husband would go and get one for me to help me from the embarrassment of asking for an extension for my seatbelt.
Wow.
Walking down the plane aisle sideways.
Awesome. All right. Welcome. We're going to start by just saying this is our podcast, and then we're going to ask the feelings in our body. And who do you want to go for? What order do you want to go in?
What order do you want to go in?
Well, we'll start with Cyndi, and then we'll go with you and me. All right, guys. Welcome to our third episode of Wired Before 7, and also the Soul, Body, Mind, Fit podcast. This is the Digital Greenhouse. And we have our guest today, Cyndi Denny, one of our favorite people, along with my co-coach and wife, beautiful wife, JJ. So we start every podcast, how we start every one of our meetings by checking in to see who's in the room and what emotions are in our body. So we'll start with you, Cyndi. What emotion is in your body this morning?
Today I have happiness in my body. Obviously a little bit of a nervousness. And but I'm very happy to be here. So
awesome. So you have happiness is the emotion, nervousness is the feeling is attached to doing this, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. JJ?
There is immense sadness in my body this morning, and I'm so grateful. And it's such a good one to have.
Yeah. Awesome. I have happiness in my body and gladness in my body. So happiness is the emotion, gladness is the feeling, and it's also a beautiful one to have. And you'll notice that every emotion is a beautiful one to have.
Yes.
So we're super excited to have Cyndi here. She has been a part of the Soul, Body, Mind, Fit Method Greenhouse for a while now. She's also, I think, our fourth member of the 100-pound club. That means she's released over 100 pounds. I believe as of this morning, it's 131 pounds. And so we're going to have a conversation with Cyndi and kind of ask her, what life was before she came into the greenhouse. Tell us a little bit about who you are, where you live, what you do, and then we'll kind of go from what happened, what made you choose to come into the greenhouse, what has happened while you've been in the greenhouse, and then at the end of the show, we'll ask, what would you tell someone else who is thinking about, is this the right place for them? So that's kind of the order in which we're going to go. So Cyndi, it's on you. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about who you are, where you live, what you do, and what life was before saying yes to the Soul, Body, Mind, Fit Method.
Okay. So I this year just turned the big 50, and I own 2 furniture stores in the Pacific Northwest, and I have 16 employees, so it keeps me very, very busy. Always on my toes, a lot of energy throughout my business. And I started this. What made me start this journey is because
before you go there, because you're an amazing grandma. You didn't mention anything about your kids, your grandkids, your husband, who's also been amazing.
Yeah.
My life story.
So important, right? Because spouses are so important. So yeah, like we got time. We want to know it all. So just kind of, before you jump into the story, tell us about your life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I I've had my business for 16 years, and we live in a very small community. I am married to a fantastic man that supports me with every ounce of his being through this program and anything else I do. He's just always super supportive for me. I have a son and two step kids, which are also my kids. And together I have 4 grandkids that also keep me very busy. They've all just recently started double sports, so I'm all over the place with them, and being able to help them practice and doing things with them after school sport practicing has been a huge enhancement in my life. It brought out a childhood personality in me that has always been there, but has been hiding for 20 plus years, probably. And she comes out to play every day, and she has so much fun. And she is full of gratitude for being able to come back into the room and sit with me every day. It's brings a lot of happiness to me. My energy level is super high all the time. I feel great inside and out. Colin has really helped me figure out different what are the like different medicines and stuff to help me feel better inside, which is part of the reasons why I joined the program, because I was having a lot of stomach issues, and I didn't know what was causing those. Like, I have gone to every extreme in the world to try to figure out what was going on with my stomach, and it was as easy as electrolytes. I've been to doctors, I've been to nature pathologists, I've done all of these things. I've done really harsh things to my body trying to figure these things out. And, so I'm learning a lot about natural medicines through Colin, and helping me regulate my inside systems. And then, with JJ, she's helping me really open up to all the emotional things that you have inside that you don't know all the time. You don't know what you don't know. And I literally had no clue. Like, I am very straightforward. I am a woman of my word. I do the damn thing every day I wake up. And with JJ's help, it has really, I thought I was almost dead inside. Like, I have the happy feeling all the time. I wake up, I'm grateful, I'm happy, I'm glad, everything is going well. I try to, I always make that's my universe. Mm-hmm. And, but there's a lot more tucked away that will help me help myself, in turn can help others, like he does, and pass it on.
Beautiful. And you've done a great job of learn, do, teach around here.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us, we'll go back and tell us, how much did you weigh when you first came to the greenhouse? What was going on with your body? And what made you say yes to this program versus going it alone, how you've done it in the past?
I started this program at 308 pounds. And I have...
How tall are you?
5'4".
There we go.
So 5'4", 308 pounds. Okay.
Go.
Yes. And I know HCG worked. I know how it's worked for me in the past. I've done it probably for 10 plus years. I've been buying HCG off of Colin's website. And And I would do that before twice a year for just one round of it twice a year. And that was so that it was when I went on vacation. It was to help me be able to fit in a seatbelt. I knew that if I weighed more than 300 pounds, I was going to have to ask the attendant. Actually, my husband would go and get one for me to help me from the embarrassment of asking for an extension for my seatbelt.
Wow.
Walking down the plane aisle sideways and not just, going down there. I've always done like abroad travels, once a year. And, it was always everybody helping me. It was excursions that I stopped myself from going on because I wasn't comfortable with, what could the possible outcome be with me weighing the way I did doing these activities. Maybe what people would think about me, like, oh God, I better help her. It was everybody's hands were always up to try to help me. But inside, I just felt like the super strong person that I am inside. I don't need your help. I can do this. I can do this, and I always have. But so it was this yo-yo.
Cyndi, what was the emotion in your body as you were getting on the plane?
Shame.
There we go. Yeah.
Shame.
What was the emotion in your body when you finally got to your vacation destination and you knew you weren't going to zip line?
Sad.
Yeah.
Embarrassed.
Yeah. And what Cyndi hasn't shared yet is that she is a little kid inside. I could cry right now. Ooh. She's a little kid inside, and she has her grandchildren who she loves to be active with.
Yeah. I mean, she travels the summer on vacations and takes these kids everywhere. Does all the things. And we're kind of like, go, you travel this journey with you, Cyndi. So we're hearing you talk about walking down the aisle sideways, and you used to joke about not wanting to zip line because you were afraid that you'd knock the little guy at the end, catches people. You thought you would just bowl him over and kill him. I mean, the real thoughts that you had were getting on a roller coaster ride and knowing that you couldn't pull the bar down,
or get out, and then the ambulance had to come and pull. You know what I mean? I saw it happen to somebody before, and I was like, nope. I will never go on that. Yeah. I would walk up to line with Max just to walk him up there and then try to find somebody in line to ride with him so he didn't have to ride alone.
And Max is your grandson.
Yeah. And I'm glad we're talking about this because there's so many women and men in your position that they're in a body that feels like it's betrayed them or they betrayed it, depending on what their view is. You're sitting at 300 plus pounds, and everything you do has to be negotiated in your mind first. Everything, right?
Yeah.
And I'm wondering too if there's denial, because you had said, I can walk down some stairs and people are going like this, and you're like, I got this. So in some case, even denial.
Yeah, like a boat. Yeah. Like, the boat, how you have to climb up and down on that. That's where they were doing that.
Getting in and out. So it's kind of like, I got this. And the people looking at her, yes.
Hands out.
Yeah. So denial.
Yeah. And so you would do HCG twice a year, right before vacation time, that to drop whatever pounds you need to drop to get to be under the bar that allows you to travel or go to these different events or what have you. What made you decide to say, stop, I'm going to stop doing it alone and come in and have us work with you and help you?
I think it was I guess it's February, like a year and a half ago in February. I had got the HCG. I went through that phase, and I was just really watching what I ate. I was, I cut carbs out. Like, I was having these really bad stomach problems, and I've had them for like 3 years, and I couldn't figure out what the heck was happening with me. And while I was on HCG, they would go away. And as soon as I came off, they would come back. And I was just like, I'm not eating. I don't like sugar. I'm not eating pasta. I don't like pasta. I don't eat breads. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's wrong. And, I just really.
Can you be more specific about what the stomach problems were? What's that look like?
It was super painful. Like I was not getting enough liquid in my bowels. And I mean, these are just things I know now. I was drinking all this water. It wasn't helping. I didn't go to the bathroom for a few days. When I did, it was a struggle. It was so painful. And for days, it's like I couldn't sit down. I was just like, it was so much pain. And I was just in that constant pain. And I was just like, I went and had a colonoscopy. Everything is fine. Nothing wrong there. I had ultrasounds. You're not blocked up. Nothing there.
Did you have bad gas at all?
No.
It's just
bloating,
constipation.
just that bloating, distension, constipation, cramping.
Yeah.
There we go.
Got it. And so you're having these symptoms. You finish your round. You go back to eating normal, which is clean, and you're still having these stomach problems. What made you connect the dots to go, okay, I need to reach out to Colin and JJ and figure out that?
Oh, and I bought that thing that you blow into to check what your metabolism is at and everything. Yeah. And you're at a 1. You're at a 1. So I was like, okay, well, everything, but how come I'm still gaining weight? Like I'm doing this, but still gaining weight. I can't do this. I lost this, 30 pounds. And now it's creeping back up. Like, I don't want to keep creeping back up. What's the solution? And I had, when I ordered my last bottle of the HCG, I looked on the bottom and I saw Colin's ad that said, asking if you needed a coach, a HCG coach. And I was like, I thought about it my whole vacation, and I was just like, I think I need help. Like if anybody, I know HCG is the only thing that has ever worked for me. I've done many different things. I've tried to do it on my own, but I just feel like if I push this button right here and like, I know he knows his product. I know that there has to be a more advanced protocol than just doing the Simeon's HCG, which was what I was following, who said you do one cycle, you have to wait a couple of months before you do another cycle. And it never just that timing in my busy life just wasn't working for me for whatever reason. So I clicked that button. I had an interview with Colin. Guys, I have to sit and contemplate like everything. I weigh my pros and my cons. I ask his brother-in-law Thomas's brother, who is a personal trainer. And he follows you guys a lot as well. And I was like, what do you think about this? And he was just like, don't ask me because I don't want our relationship to change. But I do follow Colin and JJ, and I think it's a good idea. And I talked it over with my husband, and his words to me were, it just seems like you're a little desperate.
Yeah, I know you said he said something that pissed you off, and that kind of trigger.
And I remember that caring, loving, supportive husband that I have. Like those words that he said to me, because he's seen me try everything and he sees me go off of it. He sees me, whatever, he loves me for whatever. But I was like, I'm desperate. Like, wow, that's how my husband sees me. I'm desperate. And
What's the emotion in your body? Looking back, what was the emotion in your body when he said, seems like you're desperate?
I felt desperate.
So it pinged you. When he said that, you got pinged. Therefore, there's truth in you heard truth in what he said, because if something pings you when someone says something, that means you believe it to be true. It doesn't necessarily have to be true, but if you believe there's some truth in it,
Yeah.
that's why it hurts, right? So you went, oh shit, I'm desperate.
And, and I was, weighing out the pros and cons of the cost and, am I going to stick to it this time? Am I going to do this? Blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, the next morning I woke up and I was like, I'm in, done. And I told him I'm in, that's it. We're doing it. And I told my husband.
So what I heard just now is there's a trust issue with you. So am I going to stick to it? That's a trust issue that I think, especially if you said that you were doing HCG on and off for 10 years, there's a trust issue there.
Mm-hmm.
And rightfully so, because you had collapsed on yourself several times with other things you had tried in the past. So even when it came to ACG, you would do it on point, right? You
Yes.
release 35 pounds, then you're frustrated because your body's rejecting and you were getting the weight back. But there was a part of you, and I'm glad you spoke to it, because I think a lot of people, when they think about investing in a program like ours, investing in themselves, one of their biggest fears is that, will I waste my money, because will I quit on myself again?
Yeah.
And so let's lead to that. That was one of your fears, and you came in. What was it about being in the greenhouse, being in the program, that made it easier for you not to quit on yourself? Because you obviously haven't. You've been gone straight for a year and a half, right?
Over a year and a half.
No, it's about a year and a half, right? So why haven't you quit on yourself?
Well, first of all, after I signed up, I was given a protocol, and I read through all of that, and I saw that there was the phase 1 and the phase 2, and that's all I had ever known before.
Mhm.
But there's a phase 3 and a phase 4 that's going to help me develop a lifestyle that is going to change my life. That's going to change my life.
It already has.
It has now.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what was that question you asked me? That I wanted to go back to that, and then you asked me something.
Well, I said that you pushed the button,
Yeah.
Your husband said you were desperate, but you said, I'm in. And I said, what made you, one of the questions you said is that you asked yourself, am I going to stick to it? Am I in? And I said, so what made you stick to it? Because you've definitely stuck to it. So what was it about the greenhouse that made it easier for you to stay on course?
So, the main thing that has helped me stay on course is developing relationships with other people in our greenhouse, that we all hold each other accountable. Accountability, I believe, is one of the biggest things, knowing that I'm not alone in this journey with myself. Like, my husband can help me with so much, but it's not his job. It's my job. And, it's not anybody else's in the pod either, but I get help. It helps me. It helps me feel all the feelings that I have tucked away in my past, that has brought me to where I was and where I didn't want to be anymore. And it's helped me express all of my, all of the feelings that I have, and know that they're justified, and that they came from, a certain place. And I think all of those things have just, made me be stronger, more confident in myself. I went from, maybe throwing the football in the backyard to my grandson, to literally chasing him and tackling him. And I'm just as fast as he is now. And yeah, he can't get by me. anymore, where he used to be like, I'll go easy on you, grandma, I'll go easy, please try to catch me. And now it's go
Game
hard,
on.
buddy, let's go hard. He bashes into me, he tries to tackle me.
Oh my
I mean, it's the more of those things that I feel confident in doing makes me feel not just to walk down that yellow brick road is like, now I'm jogging. Now I'm running down that yellow brick road. Like I'm almost there. And, I'm in the sprint right now, and there's nothing that's going to hold me back.
Yes.
And I feel strong with the exercises that I've been given. Everybody, we go on all these trips, and we would, go on these hikes, and they're like, oh, you want to, can you do this? And I have, in probably the last 15 years, I've built, I never thought I would have it, but it's a bucket list. It's all of the things that I have crossed off that I'm never going to do. Like, I'm not going to go cliff jumping. I'm not going to go parasailing. I'm not going to go zip lining. I'm not going to go to the aerial obstacle course. I'm not going to go on a roller coaster. I'm not going to go down a great big huge water slide and wipe the water park out at the bottom. I'm not going to do that. And I have just like one by one checked every single box I can think of. And I just keep going.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
You spoke about something that I really want to emphasize here, because those people that will hear this podcast who's done ACG before know it works, and they realize what they're trying to figure out, why didn't it stick, or why did the weight come back. And we know it's often because of metabolic reasons. They feel great on ACG, they come off, their body kind of goes back. But I think the most important part about the SBM Fit method is the emotional regulation, is learning how to regulate your emotions when you're under stress, duress, fear, anguish, sadness, shame.
How about just life?
And just life hitting you. But I'm laying out the different emotions that happen, that come up, right?
Yeah.
And so what has it been for you learning these emotional regulation techniques, learning how to identify your inner children, and how has that shown up? How's that changed the way you communicate with your husband and your grandchildren? Touch a little bit about that. What was that like? And yourself. What was that like, you learning this whole new language, or experiencing this whole new way of being, talking about our inner children? I know you thought we were crazy in the beginning, so.
It's actually just something I mean, maybe like 4 months into, I think I'm only like 4 months really into the inner children work. And it's very deep. It's a very big, I feel happy most of the time, but to be able to recognize, all the different feelings that you go throughout the day. And, and then you're like, oh, I woke up this morning and I was super pissed off. So-and-so triggered me, whatever. And, now you're driving to work, listening to your favorite song, now you're, and it just, everything, it just moves right through you all throughout the day. And, watching, your grandchildren, I'm really trying to learn all the different emotions through them, because they're all over the place all the time.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is recognizing the people around you whose inner child is in the room, so that you know how to deal with those, how to deal with your feelings from things that they trigger to you. Yeah. My niece is one that I'm, I see she has so many broken children, and I'm just like, I'm the wrong person to talk to, but I'm here because I'm the right person to talk to. Yes. I'm the right person to talk to, and we're all here for for that reason. And if we can just help others, I let people know, hey, Angry Annie is in the room and she's going to speak her mind. So, haha. You know, it is what it is. You know, I don't need to hold it in. People need to know what I'm feeling. And, if I'm sad or, with my husband, I let him know. If, maybe you didn't understand what what I was talking about. Maybe I didn't understand what you're talking about. And, and we have these conversations and more openly. We actually do joke about all of these inner children in the house. So,
Yes.
I'm like, what are you, 3? You know?
So I'm going to clarify that in this greenhouse, what we teach, and this is our belief, is emotions are energy in motion. That is all they are. They are God-given. They are supposed to be in a human body, all of them. And between 1 and 7, our guardians, our influencers, our siblings have created a meaning to an emotion that we have. And usually the sad, mad, and afraid is isolation and or punishment. So if you do that time and time again, a child will stop feeling or think they're feeling certain feelings because they get isolated, go to your room, or they get punished. So what we teach here is they are all beautiful. The inner child is the emotion that we had during an experience and what we made it mean. That meaning came from us. That's our personal power. So what we do is we have everybody come into the greenhouse identifying an emotion and then repeat, that's a good one to have. We're going to rewire our brain that all emotions are good. All emotions we're grateful for. And instead of going, there's anger in my body, there is fear in my body, we make them into inner children. Angry Annie is in the room. Fearful Fanny is in the room. Fuck you, Frida is in the room. Vicious Veronica is in the room. Because we believe that if our guardians would have acknowledged the emotion 1 through 7, we wouldn't be in the predicament we're in, which is, oh, I'm sad, I'm going to the fridge.
Yeah.
And therefore, Cyndi is being taught how to reparent her emotions, her feelings, her inner children. They're all the same. And when her grandchildren have angry Andy come in the room, she can look at him and go, oh, what emotion's in your body? Oh, that's a good one to have.
Yeah. And so her grandchildren, based on the work she's doing here,
yes,
that's also helping her to emotionally regulate, which means she doesn't need to go to food, alcohol, drugs, sex, whatever you go to outside of yourself to soothe yourself. Her grandchildren now she will be a grandmother that doesn't shut down their emotions. So they'll be able to continue to, they already know how to emotionally regulate. So as she's able to watch them emotionally regulate, not scold them or tell them no or go to your room, kind of what our parents didn't know any better to do. She now has compassion and patience that they will still learn how to emotionally regulate and hopefully turn into adults that know how to emotionally regulate.
Yes.
Which is huge. Which is absolutely huge. Very few people in the weight release space understand that permanent weight release comes not from a rigid diet that you just strictly eat the same foods every day for the rest of your life. That's one way to do it. Or if you emotionally regulate and realize that it's not about the food, it's how you feel about the food, and you stop judging every carb or fat as good or bad. It's just either nutrients you love or your body loves. You realize that keeping the weight off becomes easy.
And I love that Cyndi also acknowledged that she had been doing this on and off for 10 years. And it didn't matter how good she was, good meaning how she ate, the weight would still come back. So let's talk about that. And can you correlate the emotion, the energy in motion, and what could have been possibly stuck in the body? especially in your bowels, in your intestines.
Looking back now,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
what do you think?
Um, so I think shame was in there a lot, which is a lot of in your head. So as you're doing the HCG, part of the thing is to weigh yourself every day. And so after I come back from vacation, you know, maybe on vacation, I came back and I might have lost 5 pounds while I was on vacation. I was busy and doing whatever, or hot, probably sweated it out.
Mhm.
And I would come back and already was in the habit of standing on that scale every morning, and to watch it gradually come all back and thinking, you know, I'm still exercising. I'm still, you know, maybe I went out to dinner one night, or, you know, whatever, you know, I ended up doing, you know, maybe I had a drink, or maybe I did whatever. It just slowly, gradually would come all back. And knowing what I know now is a trust issue in um, my body and my mind. It was um, now I have a different relationship with food. You know, I've learned so much about food and how it makes me feel. I know I took a break from phase 2, and I did phase 3 for like 6 weeks. And there were so many good foods that I could have been eating the whole time. And I just chose the wrong foods. And I've learned what clean eating really meant. I learned to not foggy eat, like don't eat in front of the TV. You eat
Mhm.
at dinner, and you eat your, you know, your proportion of your food. And you just, you know, it's okay that you do go off of protocol, because and then you go back on because your body trusts you. You're giving it the exercise that it needs. You're giving it the nutrition that it needs. You're stopping and listening to how you feel.
Mm.
And
That's where I want you to start. That's where I want you to dive into. She just said she stopped and felt before she ate. So if emotions are energy in motion, and that's all they are, when we feel shame, maybe you're not even conscious that you're feeling shame. And that gets stuck in this vessel called the body. When she starts to identify, ooh, what is the emotion in my body right now? Then she's identified it, she's acknowledged it, and instead of making it wrong, she is set with it. That is why we name the inner child, name the emotion as an inner child, is because we have more empathy for kids. We have a lot more empathy for children. So she can identify, oh my gosh, there's shameful Shannon. She's in the room.
And what does she need?
And what does she need? And more importantly, before this greenhouse, it will be my guess that Cyndi wasn't even conscious of the shame Shannon that was in the room. That is energy. Where's that energy going when you don't even identify it? You don't even know it's there.
Yeah.
right. I did not know it was there.
Yeah.
And the fact you know, the fact you know it now, and when we have clients like you that we know have a large amount of weight release, we take breaks in between to make sure we can make sure your hormones stay regulated and everything works, and make sure you don't get immune to the protocol, and that you just don't get exhausted from being on a diet
Bored.
for all this time. So you went off for 6 weeks. I requested you go off for 6 weeks, and you went off for 6 weeks. You were in phase 3. You ate foods that you got to eat and enjoy. And how much weight did you gain over that 6 week period of time?
9 pounds.
And how fast did it come off?
Uh, I have since I started that. And so in a week and 3 days, I've lost, including my released 14 pounds.
So your body went up and down 9 pounds, and went up 9 pounds total. That was after vacationing, doing all kinds of stuff. And was that the norm for you in 6 weeks, or would your body do worse than that and not come not come off? Like, what, compare that to in the past where you said you kept watching the scale creep up, creep up, creep up. Did your nervous system freak out this time around like you used to in the past?
No,
Yeah,
no freak out at all.
no freak out at all. So when you noticed the 9 pounds total that went up, what was your thoughts and feelings about that?
Just pretty calm. I know the program works, and I know I needed a break, and I know my body needed um, just to rest for a minute. It needed to know what it was going to be like on the other side. It needed to know that there was another side, and it held itself steady for, very steady for that 6 weeks. When you come from a 500 to 600 calorie diet to 1100 calories, and then you just start moving it up, you're working out. And so I know that there's more than just the numbers on the scale. I know that there's water retention. I know that there's muscle mass. I know that there's a lot of things inside that aren't moving. But it's whatever. I know that it's going to come off.
Yeah, I forgot to look at your numbers this morning. I know you released 131 pounds of fat. Do you know how much lean muscle you gained? Do you know that number?
No, I know, like, in my first 3 or 4 months of the journey, you told me I gained like 15 pounds of muscle.
Yeah. I'll look it up and I'll put it in the podcast stats. I want to say you're probably gained about 34 to 35 pounds of lean muscle, and releasing 131 pounds of fat, which means that, why is that important? Because a lot of people think, number one, they think HCG doesn't work. They think it's just a low calorie diet that makes you lose weight. I don't know anybody that can stay on a 550 to 750 calorie diet for 9 months straight and not die or not freak out, right? It's interesting that almost all of our clients gain massive amounts of lean muscle and they burn body fat and they lose inches. So when we compare this protocol, our approach, to a TLP-1 or anything else that people lose a lot of muscle, we have the most metabolically sound protocol on the planet. Now, you weight train how many days a week now?
I weight train 3 days and cardio to the other 2.
Cardio 2 days a week, and you walk 10,000 steps a day.
Yes.
Like clockwork.
Yes.
You drink your gallon of water a day.
Yes.
Right. You sleep 7 hours a day.
7 to 8. Yep.
7 to 8 hours a day. Were all these habits? Did you have all these habits before you came into the greenhouse?
No.
Did you identify emotions before you came into the greenhouse?
No.
Did you even know you had emotions going?
No.
Exactly. So this is your lifestyle. Right?
Yes.
This is not something you have to even practice doing. It is just how you operate, right?
It's a new
right.
It's a new way of being for you,
habit.
Right?
Yeah. Everybody around me sees all of that change in me. Yeah.
Did you continue with the emotional regulating when you were off of HCG?
Yes.
Yeah. You've said often, because you live in a small town, you own 2 businesses, people see you all the time, and they're just always freaked out when they see you. And you had to cultivate a new way of what's the word I'm looking for? You had to learn how to take compliments because they were really uncomfortable for you in the beginning, right?
Yes.
Because people will look at you and just kind of go, "You're not the same human.
How
How is that possible?
What are you
Right?
doing?
They had to take a double take of it. What?
Yeah. Pull up your
Yeah.
are you on your phone? Pull up your picture on your phone. You showed it at the greenhouse call the other night. Just people get an idea of the transition that you've made.
Yeah. My husband just showed me some pictures the other day. We were in not this last summer, but the summer before, we were in New Orleans walking down Bourbon Street, and you know, the pictures, he was like, oh my God, I never ever even looked at you that way. I never saw you at that weight. But gosh,
That's
you
because
have
your
been
husband,
such a
Cyndi, your husband sees who you are.
Yes.
He doesn't see the skin suit. He sees who you are.
Yeah, your essence of who you
Yes. And that is what we also practice in the greenhouse is who you are is not the skin suit that you walk around in. What do you make that skin suit mean?
Yeah. We often you'll see in a lot in our
There is Cyndi
there's Cyndi when she came into the
when she
greenhouse.
came into the greenhouse.
Yep.
Wow.
But
Now
I always
show
put it the wrong way.
Now show us
Yeah,
that
now
the
show
most
us
recent your
the
wedding
wedding.
picture.
Yeah, that was what, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Wow. That is what we do here. We don't transform.
Yes.
We don't reveal.
We remember.
We remember who
Yeah.
we are. That is what we do here in the greenhouse. We remember who we are
Yes.
when we came onto this earth plane. And this is Cyndi. There we
This is
go.
Cyndi with a waistline.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
Wow.
Holy smokes. You got to send me those 2 pictures, man.
Wow.
Put it in the,
Yes.
put
Put
it
it in the
put it in
testimonies.
the testimony page.
Yes.
I mean,
My
look at that.
word.
Girls got back, baby got back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's like your husband's favorite part of you.
Yeah. I was
right.
like, dude, I got to get ready for this podcast. Leave me alone.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up now because we're almost hitting an hour. So
Yeah.
tell us, okay, now that you've been in the greenhouse experience, what would you say to anyone that was sitting in your shoes where you were, over a year ago, and you're frustrated, and say they've either never even heard of HCG before, or they're the people that have been the frequent flyers like you that have been doing it for 10 years, on and off, never ever really getting to the body of their life. You're in your last leg. You're in the home stretch of your transformation, of your revealing journey, your remembering journey, right? So what would you say to them if they're sitting on the fence, or they say, will this work for me? Or am I ready?
Am I going to keep it off?
Am I going to keep it off? Is it worth the investment? Like how would you answer those questions for them from your personal point of view?
My personal point of view is, like, why did I waited this long? You know, everything happens in its due time. Everything happens, and we're all in the right spot. And that button that I pushed that day just changed my life. And you guys have changed my life. And I love you guys so much. And don't wait. You're worth it now. You're worth it now. And there's not an amount of money that can give me this feeling that I have from my family. I mean, if you bring any of my family into this podcast, they would all be in tears for what you guys have done for me and helped me along this journey. And you never give up. And it helps me never give up. And I just really appreciate all you guys and everything that you do for me. So don't wait.
Yeah.
Start it now, and don't give up on yourself. And you're in there. But these two are going to help you find who you really are. And they're so supportive and loving. And I thank them from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. You kind of close the show with that. I mean, guys, we are blessed to do the work we get to do. We get to meet amazing people, become friends with amazing people from all over the country, all over the world, and watch them reveal and remember who they truly are. And Cyndi said she just turned 50 and she's aging backwards. She looks like she's 40.
Are you kidding?
I was saying 30 something.
Yeah, exactly.
And the energy she has and the travels that and the things she does with her family and her grandkids. I mean, it's like every summer there's like this whole laundry list of things that they're checking off. And she said she checked off all these things on her bucket list. There were ones on the list that I'll never do this because of where I'm at in my body, to I'm doing every fucking thing I ever dreamed of, right?
Yeah.
And she's a walking miracle in her town. People look at her and like going, if you were an inspiration, if anyone looks at where you started and they see you now, and they see the short time in which your life has changed, your body has changed, your health has changed. I mean, the fact I didn't even remember that you were in such discomfort with your stomach, and I remember kept trying to figure out what is it, and then the one thing about me is that I'm obsessed with figuring out the solution to what's causing the problem, not finding something to give you to take care of the problem, or a medication, or it's like, let's figure out what's going on. And I think it's funny that it all came down to, electrolyte imbalances.
It's also emotional.
And emotional release. I think a lot of the stomach stuff you were feeling that that you may not have known then, but now, is that you're not holding it in, you're not stuffing it down, and the body keeps the score. The body remembers what the mind forgets. And so, it may have been the electrolytes, it may have been a part of the problem, but we're pretty confident that almost every ailment in the body is caused by our ability to not be with our emotions. And once we stop stuffing, once the energy is able to flow, and move, whatever is stuck to it moves with it. So, Cyndi, not only are we super proud of you, thank you for being, a proud member of 100+ pound club. We have women that just came into the greenhouse, and one of them was starting in your journey. And I told her about you and one of our other members, Jen, and I said, we got 2 ladies that have already walked this walk, and they've already lost half of themselves here, released half of themselves here, and they will be able to mentor you and help you stick to it when you want to quit. Because there's plenty of times that Cyndi could have quit. We had a long stretch where your body was just holding on. And I would bet 9 out of 10 people would have said, fuck it, I've lost enough, I released enough, I'm good. And you were like, no, I'm still going. And then your body started to release again. So super proud of you. Love you to death. Thank you so much for spending this Sunday with us on the Greenhouse podcast. Can't wait to get this edited and up and showing the world, because you are worth seeing.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, much love. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.